Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's June 3rd, 2018, and I'm over in the West Garden plot. Well, I'm next to the West Garden plot. Behind me are the old repurposed kennel panels that I picked up from Craigslist a while ago. A couple weeks ago, I had the good fortune of having a volunteer come and spend a day with me, and got to know a little bit about some of the things we do here on site. And he gave me a hand putting up the kennel panels, which really made it much easier for me. He chooses to remain anonymous, so I won't mention his name, but it was greatly appreciated having a hand getting those kennel panels up. We laid down cardboard, we put the wood chips down, and we put the kennel panels up, attached them together. I added more wood chips. I used the front end loader with Optimus Prime, dumped wood chips over the top, put wood chips up against the outside, and gave that a couple of days. Then came around with Bumblebee, the excavator, reached over, grabbed a hold of the top edge, the top bar on those kennel panels behind me, and lifted up the panels so that some of the wood chips would slide down lower and raise up. Now, the reason I'm telling you about all this is, one, I really wanted to create a more ideal garden plot systems here on site to make them more enjoyable experiences being inside of them. The other thing is, I really wanted to have more protection from the indigenous wildlife that inhabit this property with us. And so another thing is our own chickens. We don't want them in. They're like little entropy engines. They're constantly, hunting and pecking and scratching at the soil surfaces and all, and thereby getting into the material and breaking it down. So having this enclosure allows me to create an optimal gardening environment. The other thing I thought about was when making this expansion, because it's been expanded from 4 garden beds a year ago to I think 6 now. We'll look inside in just a moment. And I wanted to make the paths very comfortable to work in, and I wanted to be able to accomplish another task. The other task that I've had is I've tried 2 nursery setups here on site. Excuse the wasp here. One of the nurseries was way down and back a couple of years ago. It worked fantastic as far as meeting the needs of getting all the hardwood cuttings, the softwood cuttings, and the tip-rooted plants, as well as some of the seed-started perennial plants. So that worked fantastic down and back, but the deer got into it, the other wildlife got into it, and they consumed about 99% of it over the winter time when it was a rough winter. Then a year ago, I started another secondary nursery up here, and I used our Premier 1 fencing around it, had a nice irrigation system. All the plants were potted, had wood chips all around the bases of all the pots. But again, the deer just jumped right over the fence, got in there, and thereby destroying, well, circumventing all of the hard work that we had done. So I thought, geez, with these kennel panels up here, I'll do a smaller section, see how well this works, use the wood chips as I had used before, and let's take a look at the system here. So all along the chain link fencing, so there's wood chips piled up against the outside of it, and there's wood chips that I dumped over it a second time over the top of the kennel panels with Optimus Prime, the front end loader, and piled them up on the inside. Now I'm going to go inside and show you what I mean. So all along the kennel panel here, I piled up wood chips all along here, and then I gradually just raked some of them out into the walkway here, then took all of the potted plants and lined them up all along in a straight line so I could put a piece of drip irrigation tape right over the surface of all these pots. And with all the wood chips, this will offer it ample protection this winter. So I don't have to move these pots again, hopefully. I may have to move a couple of them if some of the bindweed weeds come out and start to emerge from the base of the pots or from the tops. But otherwise, these plants should do pretty well. So these are all the thornless blackberries until you see there's a transition right about here. and that's where some of the currants take off, and then there's one hostaberry as well. But I've got wood chips up against this side of it as well.